My name is Marta de Menezes. I am an artist, and I've been doing my artistic work in biology laboratories all around the world for a long time. And I use biological material, live material, as my medium of expression in art. I'm here at BioArt Camp to develop a bit further a work I've been working on for 2 years, and I've been working with another artist, Maria Manuela Lopes, and we're studying gender. We're doing an experiment about gender, and for this we're using tetrahymena thermophilia. I'm going to try to get the different genders to conjugate, and I hope that this this viewing, this sort of voyeurism, looking at these organisms that have 7 genders, will provoke people to discuss our ideas of gender, our ideas of sex. How do we define sex? How do we define species? And how do we define biologically and socially our ideas of gender? How much can we go further in analyzing ourselves through viewing another organism that's so alien to us?
So I have 5 pairs of chromosomes in the micronucleus.
Societies, well, we are always living in the idea that there's only 2, even if there are variations of these 2, or if there are gradients between them. There are some who have 4, there are some who have none. And these ones have 7, and it's a big question in science why they have 7 and not more or less. The organism tries to make you confront yourself with your very deep-rooted ideas on sexuality and gender, without it being leading you in a specific way. Whatever identity you find yourself in, and many times you are more than one thing at the same time, you can also always reflect by using these organisms and trying to understand their biology socially, which is what I find fascinating, is that through this biology, through knowing how these organisms mate, how long they take hours, 8 hours to exchange genetic material, and they give half of themselves genetically to the other organism when they're doing this, you can think and assess your own preconceptions about gender and see if you want to change them or not.
No, it's a long time to replicate DNA. You should know by Paul's. So, in this first image, you see the 2 nuclei. They've stained one green and they've stained the other one red. And you can see that the nuclei, the red nuclei, which is for exchanging genetic material, is already going like this to separate. And this is when they start moving from one side to the next. You see that they're connected there, and the chromosomes are going in and coming this way. It's really weird.
And on the other side?
They're conjugating it as well. The chromosomes are going one way and the other. They get spaghetti-like.
I didn't bring the 7 bottles because I discovered this morning that there is only 1 bottle there. But they're trying to find another supplier that will send the organisms here. So hopefully we'll have them. If not, we'll just have to find them in the wild. I took samples of the pond and the river water to see if there's tetrahymena around, and I already found a good candidate. So what I'm doing is I'm putting droplets of each sample into a petri dish. Then I label it, and when I actually find a good candidate, I take the water out and put it into medium for tetrahymena. I have a station. Yeah. I have a station. But hopefully I'll be able to catch some tetrahymena videos tonight or tomorrow. Okay, so yesterday the tetrahymena arrived in little flasks. So this is where they came in. First, I want people to see them separately and try to describe them as much as or as wildly as they can. So I want them to describe them as being sexy and sensuous, or very quick, or sporty, or spiraling, whatever they want. I want them to stop thinking about female and male, and think of describing gender in different ways, or check if there are enough cells for people to actually see them. I have another flask with more, so because they arrived here yesterday, they didn't have a lot of time to just grow. So, but they're very sturdy, so I'm usually not that scared. 4, 5, and they're very healthy. There's no way I can get focus on all of them.
Like how many are there?
Oh, thousands and thousands. Yes, they're big.
Yeah. Woo.
Yes, they there are. See that one there and that one there?
Oh. It's funny the feeling that you get from it.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're clearly a little bit of everything that we project on them. Clearly having a ball.
All this is happening in just one drop of...
Just 60 microliters. Oh, 7 is also very happy with it. Because I put exactly the same amount of liquid into these big flasks, and some just proliferated a lot more. And this agrees with the theory. So there's organisms in all of them, and you can start with 1 and go all the way to 7. I'm trying to understand it as well. So with the project, I don't want to impose, or I want to explore as well. I'm not sure about my ideas of gender. I know I judge a lot, just like everybody else. And just having 7 genders, I think, makes you, it helps you to question and maybe shape your future experiences of gender. So maybe the thing is that we evolved into becoming 2 genders because we can summarize a lot of these characteristics into one organism, because we're so much more complex.
So you're kind of creating new spaces now?
I'm making the beds to conjugate them all together. All in pairs, okay?
Identity, sexual identity, all your judgment can bounce back into your face. This is really interesting.
So you don't consider that, do you consider that your practice challenges science at all, or?
Not really.
It's more addressing the social.
Exactly. So scientists are still people, and they are very much just like any other person outside of the lab, very much ruled by preconceptions, very much contained in everything. But this still abides some of those rules. And we have to be moving around, which is really difficult if you want something to be very sterile. Moving around to the microwave and moving around to the other tent is not the ideal.
The air is changing all the time. Yeah,
it's not ideal, but it's an interesting process.
What do you mean getting results?
By positioning myself as an artist who explores life as a new medium, I position myself clearly in the new medium place.
So basically that it passed from a science of observation to the production of artifacts.
I see that connection too. This is why I think with bioart it's interesting.
we're probably the art that makes more prototypes.
Yeah.
And actually shows them to the public, because you show it once and then you see how the people react, and then you understand that some things were not really clear or they didn't get there, and you have to rethink how you present it again, or
No, it's
not
more
shocking in a but more, yeah, more
Interpeling, or
it will be more about also your relationship to your inside as well. You know, I'm one of these artists who don't necessarily comment about political implications that my work raises. I know they're raised, and it's an interesting part of working with biology, obviously, and working with biology as a medium, working with life as a medium. So I'm very much aware that manipulating life is a sensitive subject, and it's what I do, and I affirmatively do it. So I manipulate life as a medium. I don't make political statements through my art. I don't criticize science per se. I don't criticize science technology. I don't criticize manipulation of life. I feel very strongly about this. I'm not hypocritical in saying that we shouldn't manipulate life, because we do, and we have been doing it for a long, long time. And I do think that we should be responsible about it, more than critical about it.